Hello, bookworms! Today I'm here to do the Gilmore Girls book tag. This is actually the second time that I am filming this because I filmed it, I want to say it was back in May, and I recently found it and I was like, oh, I should totally post this very soon since it's such an old video. But then I was like, oh my gosh, this information is completely irrelevant in like the introduction of the video. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start over. I'm just going to do this one again. And I don't remember what my answers were the first time that I did it. So I'm just going to do a whole new one here. I am a new fan to the Gilmore Girls fandom, but I am like all in. I watched the entirety of the series this year for the first time. My husband, Andrew, really enjoys it, and he's actually the one that made me watch it, and I'm so glad that he did because I love it so much, and I've been addicted ever since, and I am so excited that I did not have to wait years and years and years for new episodes, whereas all of the rest of the people that have been into it for that long had. So I'm sorry about that, and I feel bad if you are in that boat, but I'm also excited that we're just gonna get more, and yeah. So here we go. The first question is Lorelei, a character with a witty or sarcastic sense of humor. And for that, I'm going to choose Sloane from This Adventure Ends. This is a very recent book, so there's no way it was my answer the first time I did this tag. But Sloane is such an interesting character. She is really, really sarcastic, and she kind of uses sarcasm as a way to kind of like distance herself from other people. And I really, really love this. I loved seeing her join this group of friends and just building those relationships and having people kind of break through those walls that she has put around herself. But I really, really enjoyed her sense of humor, and she definitely had me laughing at points during this story. The next question is Rory, your favorite classic? And for this one, I am going to say The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. I probably said this last time too, because this is definitely by far my favorite classic. It is a revenge story. It is phenomenally written. It's very long. Like, it's probably one of the longest books that I've ever read in my life, and I just love it so much. I want to reread it because I read it, I want to say it was like 7 years ago, and it was amazing. Like, I remember just being completely enthralled and completely like blown away by all the writing, and I ended up reading more of Alexandre Dumas' books because I just loved this one so much. But this is by far my favorite classic book. The next question is Luke, a book that you secretly love but are afraid to admit. This one I had a little bit of a difficult time choosing because I am really open about the things that I enjoy, and there's really never any time that I am like scared to admit that I like something. If anything, I'd be more scared to admit that I don't like something because I wouldn't want to like offend anyone else that does like it. If I absolutely had to choose a book, a recent read of mine, I would choose Paper Princess by Erin Watt because, as I said in my wrap up, this book is incredibly problematic, but it was like book crack and I couldn't put it down, and I was really invested in the story, and I just like the way that it was written just kept you really like interested and like you needed to know what was going to happen next. It was kind of like a train wreck where you're like, I can't look away because I need to know what's going to happen, even though I know that this is like wrong and bad. So I guess I would have to go with this book. The next question is Lane, a musical character. And for this one, I am going to choose Etta from Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. This book has been on my mind so much lately because I loved it so much, and Wayfarer is finally like approaching us, the release date, and I just like need to know what's going to happen. I love that it's a duology, so there's only one more book to read to like have that conclusion and have that closure on the series. But I'm definitely planning on rereading this one before I read Wayfarer because I read this like so long ago, but I just loved it and like it was really enjoyable. So I feel like this is for sure a December reread for me. But Etta is a violinist, and the book actually opens with her performing at the Met. So she's definitely like one of the most musical characters. The next question is Dean, your first character or first book that you loved. So for this one, I am going to choose my first like time that I ever had a major crush on a fictional character, and that is Ronald Weasley from the Harry Potter series. I always loved Ron so much. I think that the books do him so much more justice than the movies. They like don't really develop his character enough in the movies, and he's so awesome and he's really funny. And I just really loved him. So he was always one of my favorite, and I'm so happy that he ended up with Hermione because obviously she's the best. So I just like love them together, but I always loved him so much. And when my friends and I, when I was in high school and the movies were coming out, every time that a new one would come out, we would all get together and we would make t-shirts to wear to the midnight premiere. And my favorite one that I ever made was a t-shirt that said, Ron Weasley is the Lumos of my life, because I love Ron. The next question is, Sookie, a book that you've devoured. And for this one, I am actually going to choose a trilogy, and that is the Burn for Burn trilogy by Jenny Han. I normally take breaks between books in series. I just like, I don't know, reading something else and like cleansing my palate before I go into the next one. But that was so not the case for this series. And I ended up reading the entire thing in less than a week, all 3 books. It was so good, and it was like so weird. There were just weird things that happened, but I just really loved Lilia, and I was so invested in her storyline that I needed to move on to the next one as soon as I finished one. It was the first time that there was no question in my mind that the minute I finished, I was picking the next one up. The next question is, Jess, a book that you love that gets the most hate. And for this, I am going to choose another series, and that is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. These books are so controversial, and there are so many people that hate them, but I really love them, and I think that they are very, very well written. I like Sarah J. Maas's writing, and I am really, really into this story, and I cannot wait to see how it's going to end, especially now that I've finished Empire of Storms. For some reason, people don't like her books. I don't get it. I like them, so oh well. I'm also actually not a Jess fan, just so you guys know. I am all for Rory being with Logan, and I really hope that that's what's going to happen in the new episodes that we're getting. The next question is Miss Patty, a book that was ruined by the hype, and for that one I am choosing City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the Mortal Instruments series, and there were so many die-hard fans of this series that when I read the first book, I just didn't get it. Like, I thought it was okay, and I read it quickly, but I wasn't like as in love with it as everyone else. And I've actually had that same feeling throughout the entire series until I got to the final book. I really, really loved the last book, City of Heavenly Fire. I think that was like amazing, and it was worth getting through the first 5 of these just to read that one, but I just never got the hype with these. The next one is Emily Gilmore, and for that one, you're supposed to show an expensive book. So I've showed these a couple of times, but these are definitely the most expensive books that I own. And it is The Lord of the Rings, and this edition is made by the Folio Society. Their books are just so like incredibly gorgeous. They're the most expensive books that I own, but they're so beautiful, so worth it. I also have the Hobbit edition, and I really want to get the Silmarillion too. And a couple other books that they have there, but I got these for myself as a treat when I got my new job. That was like the one way that I felt able to justify it, because they are really expensive for books and for books that I already own, but they are just really beautiful, and this is such a classic series, and this is something that I'm going to have for the rest of my life and that I'm going to love for the rest of my life. So I'm really, really glad that I got these, but they are definitely pricey. The next question is Paris, an uptight character, and for this one I am going to choose everyone from Tiny Pretty Things with the exception of Gigi. Everyone else is really, really uptight, and it makes sense that they are because they are in a competitive ballet school, and it's really hard to break into the field of ballet, so everyone is competing to get these lead roles, and it kind of will determine their future and whether they'll have a place in the ballet company like once they graduate. So they are all like high stress all the time, high drama all the time, highly entertaining all the time. Then some additional questions were added to this tag because of the revival and just a couple characters that were left out. So the first one is Richard, and it is a character death that you will never get over. I'm just gonna hold up Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, and you will all know who I'm talking about here. The final one is Logan, and it is a character that has undergone the most character growth. And for this one, I don't want to get spoilery, but I will say that there are 3 characters in this book who do complete changes from the first book to the fifth book in the Throne of Glass series. So I'm going to say those three characters, and if you've read it, you know who I'm talking about. If you haven't read it, I don't want to spoil it for you, so I'm not going to actually say the character names. So that is the Gilmore Girls book tag. I am so excited for the revival. I'm so excited for the Funkos. I'm so excited for everything Gilmore Girls related. So let me know your answers to these questions down in the comments below. I'm not going to tag anyone because this tag has been around for a really long time, and I feel like most people that are Gilmore Girls fans have already done it. But if you haven't and you want to do it, then consider yourself tagged and let me know so that I can watch your video too. And I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye!